welcome to another learning lesson right here on Street Biashara. I'm your host, Brenda Nyamichaba. Now, on this series of trying to understand what it is Kenyans know about the M-Fanisi app, we're going out to ask you what you understand with the term earnings, what it means to you, and what exactly do you do with your earnings. Let's go find out.
What you go to work for, at the end of the month, that's what you earn. Yeah. So earnings is mostly your dues, what you're paid after working.
I wanted to know if you've ever heard of this this particular term. It's called M-Fanisi. Have you ever heard about it?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. Yeah.
Okay. So what forms of saving do you use? Do you use a bank? Do you use circles or any other platforms that you know of?
Yes, I use a bank and a circle as well. And I use for a circle for the main goals. That the circle is a long-term saving because in future it's easier for you to access a loan. And from circles, I find their loans and interest and very flexible and friendly. So we save also in banks for the future purpose and easier accessibility of your money when it comes to banks.
Perfect. I wanted to ask you, have you ever heard of something called M-Fanisi?
Not really.
Do you want to guess what it is? You want to try and guess? I'm not going to give you the right answer, but I want you to guess.
Can you please tell me? I don't feel like guessing.
You can't think?
I've heard of the one M-Fanisi. I don't know if it's related to something like a saving plan. Yeah, but not exactly know what it is into.
Okay. What platforms of saving do you use? Banks, circles?
Normally, many people use banks and circles because that is where maybe when you save like for a certain time, a certain period of time, you can be financed and maybe grow your business.
My last question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of something called M-Fanisi?
M-Fanisi is something that I have come across, but I am not very sure.
Na wewe una saving kwa places gani, kama bank, kama sako, ama M-Pesa?
Sana mimi tumia bank.
Yeah. Umeisikia kitu inaitwa M-Fanisi?
M-Fanisi, bado sijasikia.
Nafikira ni nini?
M-Fanisi, I guess ni about to banking.
Yeah. What platforms you use to save? Which ones do you prefer?
Oh yeah, me personally, I use Barclays and I use also I&M Bank for my saving. Yeah, because for me, at least it provides for me some interest that I earn at the end of after 3 months. Okay. Yes, so in terms of whatever I do at the end of the day, at least I have a future that I know that tomorrow there is something for me at the end of the day. Yeah.
Now my last question for you, I wanted to know if you've ever heard of this term M-Fanisi.
M-Fanisi? Not really. Okay, I've heard of it somewhere. A friend of mine actually talked about it, but I didn't really capture the story about it.
Can you give me a rough example of thought process of what you actually think it might be?
Nah, I don't think so, because I might not even have any clue about what it is, so much of it. And I have not really gone online or asked somebody who's actually on the ground to actually tell me what it is.
Thank you. What platforms of savings do you use? Do you use a bank or anything else?
I mainly use a bank. If I'm not using a bank, I do an investment.
Yes.
I put it somewhere where it will earn me something, at least something.
The future.
Either insurance, you put in the insurance, or I buy another farm, maybe.
That's amazing. That's the way our parents also taught us. My last question for you is, have you ever heard of M-Fanisi?
No, I'm hearing it of today. I've never heard of it.
And what do you think it is? What do you think it could stand for?
Maybe it's for the benefit of all of us, especially people who are working.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it will help young men who want to do business later on or who want to save for their future.
What platforms of savings are you conversant with? Do you use banks? Do you use circles or any other platform?
The traditional way of saving is banks, okay?
Yeah.
Fixed deposit account,
Yeah.
that runs for maybe 3 months, 6 months, a year. But of course there are new savings platforms that have come about. The mobile ones, the ones you have, the mobile wallet savings, those are there. But basically not many people know about them.
That's very true. And that's why it brings me to my question. Have you ever heard of M-Fanisi? M-Fanisi.
M-Fanisi, there's so many, I've not heard of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Savings is just all about having an account, say, keeping little for your future generation or for after retirement.
There are platforms you use to save, like do you use a bank, do you use circles, or any other platforms that come to mind?
A bank.
Old school. Bank peke yake.
Yeah. Sina mahali pengine, because if you use a circle, wanaweza kupirate.
And these mobile platforms kama M-Pesa, M-Shwari, hizo unatumianga?
Yeah, natumianga. Sana M-Shwari.
Now the next question I have for you, have you ever heard of M-Fanisi?
No.
Naisikia M-Fanisi.
Yeah.
Unafikiri ina stand for what?
M-Fanisi. I've never heard it, so I don't understand the real meaning of it.
Wonderful. Now, after getting to know what exactly you understand with earnings and whether or not you even know M-Fanisi, it's time for us to get a clear breakdown with professionals from about this app specifically. Joining me once again on Street BHR is Robert Karaoke, who is the head of finance at Maisha Microfinance Bank. Thank you for joining me once again, Robert. So we're just going to jump right into it.
Thank you for having me, Brenda.
No problem. We're going to jump right into our conversation. And of course, we start off by really defining earnings from your perspective. So can you please just give us a simple, general explanation of what earnings really mean?
Earnings are basically the profits that you get. Because for you to get earnings, then you're going to get an income. Then you have to deduct the cost that you use to generate that income. Then what you get after deducting expenses from income then becomes your earnings, or what you'd call in a layman the profit, or what you get as the return.
Okay, and I'm happy you mentioned income, because when I was out on the streets asking individuals what they really understand with the term earnings, they tend to confuse it with income. So if you could give us a simple difference between those two terms, that would be great.
Yeah, so for income, you look at it from a gross perspective. This is the total money that you've collected from your the proceeds of your venture, and that becomes your income. Now, when you deduct the cost, maybe you needed to transport your tomatoes from point A to point B and you paid X amount, then that becomes a cost which you deduct from your income to get your earnings or the profits.
Okay, thank you so much. And when we come back looking at Maisha Microfinance Bank, I wanted to know what are some of the options that you give to save money with you guys?
Yeah, we have several options where you're able to save money with us. And number one and the most efficient is the digital option, which we are calling this morning M-Fanisi. M-Fanisi is a mobile app that is available on Play Store, Google Play Store, and you can download the app and you keep enjoying the savings product that we have there. With a minimum of 500 shillings, you can deposit for a term of 12 months and earn a return of 11.25%. Really unprecedented in the market, and we're excited this morning that we're having this conversation so that really we can help our people to save and earn a return.
Amazing.
Then you can also come to the branch.
No, you can just continue.
Yeah, you can also come to the branch. Yeah, you can come to the branch at Maisha, where we are located at Chester House, 2nd floor. Open an account with us and place an amount on fixed deposit, any amount from 500 shillings all the way to the size of your amount. We are able to receive it, and we will really reward you appropriately with an appropriate return.
Wonderful. So if I have as little as 500 Kenyan shillings, I'll definitely get some sort of return.
If you save 500 shillings for 1 year with us, then you're going to get an amount almost 60 shillings, which really, if you look at the kind of rates that we're giving compared to the other rates that really have been provided in the market, then you're looking at really an institution that really is ready to reward your hard-earned savings. Because 11.25% in a month can walk around. But I tell you, Brenda, it will be difficult for you to get that kind of value down. Yeah.
Completely. Very true. Very true. Thank you so much once again, Robert, for just giving us that clear explanation. Really appreciate it.